made it home, I dug her out, then I made her one of my aces. Marijuana fragrance, this tree here is outrageous. Want me to play in your city? Send an email to my agent.
Yo, what's going down, everybody? It is Straight Outta Boston here, aka the King of Boston, and today we are here for episode 35 of the Utah Jazz Association, and Roy Hibbert has decided he wants to remain with the Utah Jazz, so we're going to re-sign him for a 4-year, $39 million deal, and it's going to put us a little bit over the cap next year, so I don't expect us to be making any major free agent moves in the offseason, but this solidifies our starting five for at least another season. I'll talk about that in a sec. You can see the Jazz are first place in the Western Conference, 2 games ahead of the Thunder, and in this episode we're going to be going up against the Milwaukee Bucks, who are the one of the top teams in the East, a very good team. Brandon Jennings has developed a little bit. He's in the mid-90s for overall. Anthony Randolph was an all-star this year. He's in the mid-80s. Monte Ellis is still Monte Ellis. We all know about him in 2K. And it's a good supporting cast around this team. So I'm going to talk about the Roy Hibbert re-signing for just a moment. He was the one player on an expiring contract that is a kind of key piece for us this year. At least he's... I should rephrase that. He's the one player in our starting 5 that's only on a 1-year deal. So the fact that we re-signed him, I'm pretty excited about. This means that Iggy, Steph, and Paul George, I believe, each have 2 years left if you include this year. So that means we're going to have this core together for at least one more season. And then after that, we're going to probably have to make some adjustments. We'll see if we can re-sign everybody. We're only going to have bird rights on Paul George. So we'll kind of see where that takes us in a couple years. But for now, we're going to try and eke out the most we can with this core group together. So anyway, Hibbert, very good center for us, fits our system well. We got him for a good price, but I shouldn't have given him 4 years. He's already 29 years old. Based off of how Zebo has kind of declined and how Sheik has declined a little bit, he's only 29. I'm kind of thinking that maybe I gave Hibbert a little bit too much money. Or not too much money, but a little bit too many years. I think I should have tried to get 3 years and then kind of gone from there. But I guess he'll be under contract until Favors is done, so I guess we have our front court for the future. That's always a good thing, considering how thin the front court is really in this year's in today's NBA. But anyway, Monte Ellis here with the ball, giving it up to looks like Jennings on the break, and Jennings puts it in with the left. So 5-4 is your score. This is gonna be a huge statement game for either team if they can win. Iguodala showing off the ups with the poster right there. You can take a look at the Sprite Slam Cam replay, dunking on Monte Ellis, sending them a message. And I think our defense really made a statement today. You're going to notice Monte Ellis, we all know Monte Ellis in 2K as the man that can just go off at any time, score 50 points in a game without even thinking twice about it. And our defense shut down Monte Ellis today, and that is something to be said about our defense. I know nobody seemed to like the moves we made, getting Iguodala, getting Hibbert in them, but you know what? Our team defense is so good now, it's incredible. Anthony Randolph with the bucket, you can see his averages right here, 17.8 points, 9.2 boards, 2.3 blocks. He has really developed into a stud. Paul George lobbing it up to Derek Favors on the break. Lob City connection right there. Good to see the athleticism. Somebody told me I needed more athleticism in my team last episode, and I was just like, crazy, son. Anyway, Barry hits the pull-up right there. It's 17-12 is your score. Still now 21-14. Gerald Green on the steal. He's dribbling it up, and this was a kind of a funny possession. I was thinking I was going to have to pass it off to somebody, but Green just exploded by everybody and slammed it home with one hand. So now an inbound play, 23-16. Steph Curry cutting off ball. He finds himself open, and one thing I was really happy about today's game was Steph Curry was able to really get it going early. He hit a couple threes. We were able to run some off-ball plays for him. We were able to just get him open, and he knocked down his shots early on, which was great. So he got it going early. That was big for our offense. And you might notice I'm using the ABA ball in this episode. I figured I would just kind of switch it up, use the ABA ball. Why not? If you guys don't know how to do that, go into your codes, put in the code Pay Respect, and then activate that. You can use the ABA ball. It's kind of fun to do once in a while, but I've never really done it for one of these episodes. Anyway, here we are, Quinn Cook on the break, trying to push the tempo a little bit on this Bucks team. I find a cutting Andre Iguodala, and that's one of the reasons why I love running the break with this team. Guys like Iggy and George are just great cutters, great slashers. And it just really helps out our team on the fast break. Monte Ellis trying to go to work. Here he finally gets a bucket. But you're going to notice he was only 3 of 10 up to that point with 8 points. So we had really shut him down. Now here's Glenn Robinson III dishing it off to Danny Green, the star of the finals it seems so far. Although he has cooled off the last couple games. Great adjustments by the Miami Heat to kind of chase those guys off the three-point line. Here's a Roy Hibbert running sky hook. It wasn't really a sky hook, but it was a running kind of contact hook shot. So up by 10 here, we have some separation on this team. and that's pretty good. Good comfortable lead. Paul George in the paint, out to Gerald Green at the top of the key for 3. He gets that one to go. So now we extend our lead 43-30, and Gerald Green on the break, trying to do something, finds an open Paul George for a mid, and Paul George knocks that one down. Great all-around game from George so far. You can see he's got 10 points, 3 boards, 5 assists. Here's Curry on the steal. Nope, Jennings gets it back. Jennings gets into the lane, floater, and the floater's in 2K. Pretty cheesy. You know there's going to go in most of the time if a point guard takes it, so. And now Paul George is getting a steal. He's going to lob this up to Iggy. Reverse slam. 2 hands. Team Lob City is in the building. Look at this. This is crazy. Man, not only is this team just very good to play with, they're also very fun to play with, and it's been an incredible year so far. Dominating the Western Conference at 45-18. Here's Curry running the break with his running mates. He just pulls up for 3, stops and pops, gets it to rattle home. I didn't like the numbers that I had, but no one stepped up on Curry, so I figured why not. That was a very Steph Curry-like thing to do. If you ever watch the Warriors run the fast break, a lot of the time he'll just stop and pop, and it's pretty fun to watch. Anyway, 58-42 is your score heading into halftime. We're up by 16. Now it's down to 14. Curry trying to get Roy Hibbert involved. I decided the one thing I wanted to do to start up the second half was get Hibbert involved, so I called a pick and roll for him. He gets an and one slam. Now later in the quarter, I'm calling a post play for him, and he was really the only one in our starting 5 not to get it going, but look how open Paul George was, and look at the behind the back pass from Hibbert. Not the greatest passing big man ever, but look at that, channeling his inner Bill Walton or his inner Kevin Garnett. And now we're going to skip ahead one more time. Hibbert in the post on Monte Ellis, trying to get him going. This is pretty easy, right? Takes a little right-handed hook. He's just too big. He's got almost a foot of size advantage over Monte Ellis. So here's Zebo in the post. Zebo going to work on Anthony Randolph. That's a little post hook right there. We extend our lead to 22 points. We are blowing the Bucks out of the waters. Jennings trying to respond here. He's going to try and go to work on Cook, dribbling it up. He's going to end up dishing it off to Randolph. Randolph, very athletic, puts a nice little move on his Zebo, and he was just too quick. Zebo's lateral movement is not what he used to be. Not that he ever had great lateral movement, but anyway, Jennings off to Anthony Randolph once again. Here's Randolph trying to keep his team in it. He makes a nice pass to the big man down low. So he puts that in 72-53. A very athletic front court for this Bucks team with Larry Sanders and Anthony Randolph. But here's Gary Harris open in the corner. That was a bad play by the Bucks defense, sagging out for a great 3-point shooter like that. Here's Zebo, little face-up drive, dishes it off. Now it swings around to Cook in the corner. Incredible ball movement, and Cook makes the tough layup right there. 24-point game, 77-53. Here's Jennings once again, trying to do something to just, I don't know, say some dignity, but Randolph is going to work this quarter. He puts that in, showing why he deserved to be an all-star. Now still 77-55. Danny Green now swings it over. It's Brandon Jennings who will pull up and get it to go. So down to 20, and later in the quarter, as the quarter's starting to wind down, Jennings on the break, down to Danny Green, makes a nice pass to Randolph, and Randolph, once again, I think it was the matchup with Zebo. Zebo just was too slow for him, and I think that hurt us. But anyway, it's an 18-point game, and we pretty much just had the bench play in the last half of the third quarter. No need to keep the starters in. I really felt like we had put away the Bucks at this point, and there just really wasn't much of a need to, I don't know, I just felt like I was kind of just digging around the end of the quarter, not really trying too hard. So I'm going to end up simming to the end of the game, as you're going to see in just a moment. Like I said, just wasn't necessary for me to play the rest of this game. Wasn't necessary for you guys to see the rest of the game. So you're going to see in a moment. I'm going to pause the game, sim to the end, and we're going to end up winning by a final score of 91-77. So they outscore us in the fourth quarter actually by 4 points. But I imagine that probably came off of a lot of second unit coming in for us. But anyway, that is going to wrap this game. Steph Curry gets your player of the game. He finished with 21 points. You can take a look at some of his highlights right here. Let me know what you think of those throwback jerseys. I think those are like mid-90s throwback jerseys. I couldn't quite, I don't know, I'm not 100% sure. Those might have been closer to early 2000s than anything else. Because I think the mid-90s were the other ones. But whatever. Not a big deal. Anyway, so in the Bucks wearing some throwbacks, trying to bring back the heyday when they were really good in the early 70s and when they were pretty decent in the early 2000s as well. But either way, you can see, I don't know why the box score or the little scoreboard was showing up when I did these player of the game highlights, but it's actually kind of cool. But either way, here's Hibbert in the post going to work, up and under. And Curry ends up with 21-7, 5 boards and 2 steals. Very impressive performance by him. You can take a look at the team stats and the box scores on your way out. We really crushed them in a lot of important team categories. They never led. Our biggest lead was 16, apparently, even though we were up by way more than that. So I don't know. Anyway, you can take a look at the box scores here. On the Bucks, really poor games from most of them. Jennings had an okay game, but Ellis was 5 of 23 from the field. You know you're not going to win when one of your best players goes 5 of 23 from the field. That's our defense right there. That's what I'm telling you guys. Our defense is just insanely good, and I'm so happy with it. That's why I wanted to assemble the team that I did. Anyway, it's going to wrap this video, so I thank you guys for watching. Hope you did enjoy, and I'm out. Peace.